A few years ago, I went to Morocco. I had such a fantastic time. And this is one of the recipes I learned over there. It's called a Couscous Royale. Now, I'm doing this in the pressure cooker because this cuts the time in half. So we're going to get that slow cooked finish done quickly. Now, this is some lamb shoulder, and I've just started the cooking process by sealing it off in the pressure cooker on a high heat so we get some nice caramelisation. Now the chicken can go in, and I'm using chicken drumsticks for this. You want something that has a slight amount of fat and the bone still in it because it is going to cook under pressure. You don't want it to dry out, so no chicken breast for this recipe. So we'll just line them up in the oil and then season it with a pinch of salt. And while that's cooking, I'll prepare the onions. So 2 onions that I'll roughly chop just into chunks. Now, using a pressure cooker is going to cut the time in half. So usually, if I was doing this in a large pot, and you can also do this in a large pot if you have that at home, but when I do it in a large pot, it takes about 1.5 hours to 2 hours. This is only going to take 45 minutes, and we're going to get the same results. Now let's have a look at the chicken. Yep. Getting some lovely colour now, and while that's getting some colour, we might as well add our onions. So we'll pop them in. This is a large pressure cooker, so it's going to cook for at least 8 people. Now we're just going to give that a quick toss, just shake it around, and add a little more salt to the onions, and we can add some pepper at this stage too. Now, traditionally, this is made with many different spices, and each family has their own recipe for their Couscous Royale, but I'm going to cheat a little and use some Ras El Hanout. Ras El Hanout is a North African spice. It has over 12 spices in it, and it can go in with our onions. We just want to toast it off, give it another stir. Now that is starting to smell fantastic. I'm almost transported to Morocco with all of those spices. And now I'll add some saffron, so a pinch of saffron. This is going to give it a really nice yellow colour too, and of course the perfume of the saffron. And now for some harissa, which is a red pepper paste, just to give the broth some extra flavour. And another quick shake. Fabulous. Now return the chunks of lamb shoulder, and any of the juices that are on the plate, we'll add them. And now to deglaze, 1 litre of chicken stock, but you can absolutely use water for this because there is so much flavour in the chicken and the lamb. Okay, now for the remaining vegetables. Carrots, 2 carrots that I'll cut into 3 centimetre pieces. I like to add a lot of carrot to this because it is also going to impart a sweet flavour. So we'll add them to the broth. A turnip that I'll cut into quarters. Turnips have a bitter flavour to them, but they work really nicely with this, and it is very traditional. And finally, some chickpeas. Lovely, now the lid can go on, and this is going to cook under pressure for 35 minutes. After 35 minutes, I'm going to release the pressure and add the last 2 vegetables, which is some zucchini and some cabbage. Now I'm going to serve this with some couscous, so 1 cup of boiling water to 1 cup of instant couscous. I like to add a few knobs of butter, a good pinch of salt, and a small glug of extra virgin olive oil. Now just cover this with some cling film, and this is just going to sit there and absorb all the water, so it's going to take about 5 minutes. Now the stew is cooked, I've turned it off and released the pressure, and the couscous has completely absorbed the liquid and doubled in size. Now when you're separating couscous grains, you just want to carefully scratch the top, almost like you're scraping the surface of sand. And now what I'll do is just pour this onto my presentation platter. And instead of serving it on the side, I like to serve the couscous grains with the couscous stew because it's going to absorb all of the beautiful flavours. So spread that out. Look how light that is, and that's also because we've added that butter. And for the main event, the stew, we'll just take the pressure cooker off and have a look at that. Oh, that smells delicious. And have a look at this cabbage. It's cooked perfectly within that 10 minutes. So soft, so perfect. Now we'll just place this on the bed of couscous, just on one side. This is rustic, home-style Moroccan cooking. So it is all about the soft vegetables, comfort food, slow-cooked meat. I'll add some of the zucchini. And then the lamb, look at this lamb. See how it just falls away? That is meltingly soft, just my favourite way to eat lamb. So we'll add a mixture of that and some chicken. Here's a piece of chicken. Trying to keep it intact because it is so soft. The chickpeas, the turnips. This recipe is in my latest book and I cook it the traditional way in the pot, but I really wanted to show you this other way of doing it. You can cook this in half the amount of time with a pressure cooker. There was so much I loved about Morocco, but by far I loved the food. The food was fantastic, particularly the Couscous Royale. I'm gonna have a taste. Chicken there. Oh, that's good. Brings back so many memories.